So let me make this real clear, right? I'm gonna do this video and I'm gonna get off live and y'all can see it. I'm gonna save it up here. Check this out. I don't do phony shit. I don't do no phony kicking it. I don't like it. I sit back and watch because I hang with every day, all motherfucking day do phony shit, right? I don't do phony shit. Period. Is that all you care about is Papa?
No, not really.
Yes, you're gonna see Papa tomorrow.
Yay!
Imagine burying your 5-year-old son on a Thursday, and by the following Tuesday, you're lying on cold pavement, bleeding out from gunshot wounds. 5 days. That's all Kaylin Davidson had between laying her baby to rest and taking her last breath. And here's what makes this even more heartbreaking. The person who killed her wasn't some random criminal. It was someone she knew, someone she'd been arguing with online. Someone who allegedly laughed at her pain while her child's body was still warm in the ground. This is a story about grief, about social media turning petty drama into something deadly, and about how quickly everything can fall apart when anger meets a loaded gun. Let me take you back to the beginning, because you need to know who Kaylin really was before that terrible night outside a restaurant in South Bend, Indiana. Before we continue, please tell us where you are watching from in the comments section, and also subscribe to keep the momentum going.
I can't believe hoes really think I be sitting up talking about them.
Kaylin Davidson was 32 years old, a single mother from South Bend, Indiana, raising 2 sons, Kayn and Kyler. She worked as a medical assistant at Beacon Health Systems while running a small shipping business on the side. She was the kind of mom who celebrated every milestone, every achievement, every proud moment. And Kyler, her 5-year-old, was something special. Reading at a middle school level, accepted into Kennedy Academy for Gifted Students, a bright light with unlimited potential. Kaylin had already known loss. She'd buried her father and siblings before, but nothing prepares you for losing a child.
I love you.
I like you.
April 30th, 2022. Around 10:30 at night, a regular Saturday evening that turned into every parent's worst nightmare. Kyler was at a family member's home on Woodbine Way, on the west side of South Bend. And then, in an instant, everything changed. A 9-year-old relative found a handgun, a loaded handgun that should never have been anywhere near children, and that child pulled the trigger. Kyler was shot. Stop and think about that for a second. A 9-year-old child got their hands on a loaded gun, not a toy, not something locked away. A real, loaded, deadly weapon just sitting somewhere a child could reach it. This is the part that makes my blood boil. Children don't understand death the way adults do. They don't grasp that pulling a trigger means someone doesn't get back up. They've seen it in cartoons, in video games, in movies where people get shot and walk it off. To a 9-year-old, guns might seem like toys, like props, like something from a screen. But guns are not toys. They're not props. They're tools designed for one purpose, to kill. And when you leave one accessible to children, you're gambling with lives. There's no reason, none whatsoever, for a loaded firearm to be anywhere a child can access it. Not on a nightstand, not in a purse, not in a drawer, not under a couch cushion. Gun safes exist. Trigger locks exist. Basic safety measures exist. And yet, time and time again, we hear stories just like this one. A child finds a gun, a child pulls the trigger, and another child dies. This wasn't an accident. This was negligence. This was adults failing to do the bare minimum to protect the children in their care. And that failure cost Kyler his life. Kyler was rushed to the hospital fighting for his life. For roughly 72 hours, machines breathed for him while his family begged God for a miracle. His mother sat by his bedside, probably whispering promises and prayers, hoping against hope that her baby would open his eyes. But on May 4th, just after midnight, the machines were turned off. Kyler was gone. A 5-year-old boy with his whole life ahead of him, dead because a gun was left where a child could find it.
I'm alright, so I got ear infection.
Some of your friends got an ear infection. They better not have gave you COVID.
They did not.
How you know?
Because I kept my mask on for a little.
Oh, you kept your mask on? Period, son.
Well, not that long, but
Yeah.
I still didn't got sick.
I know you still done got sick. Y'all, my baby's sick. He running a fever. Well, a low-grade fever. So he's hanging with mom this weekend while dad goes to Indy, and mom's gonna nurse him back to good health. Ain't that right, sugar? Say peace out, Snap.
Peace out, Snap. For that, I had 100 fever.
You had 100.2 fever.
That's pretty high fever. That's pretty hot.
Yeah.
If you've never lost a child, you can't fully understand what that does to a person. It's not just sadness. It's like your soul gets ripped in half and you're expected to keep breathing, keep moving, keep existing in a world that suddenly makes no sense. After Kyler's death, Kayn did what many grieving parents do in the modern age. She turned to social media. Her posts were raw, emotional, and unfiltered. She wrote about the emptiness in her home, about waking up and forgetting for a split second that her son was gone, about the unbearable silence left behind. It was not polished or performative. It was pain spilling out in real time. I'm getting on here on live to let everybody know that I found my baby. We searched high and low, got sent off. All of that. I found him. I'm so happy. I'm so relieved. I'm happy wasn't nothing wrong with my baby. This is the most stressfulest shit ever. I don't wish this on nobody. Especially a motherfucker that really love their kids and really care about their kids. I don't wish this on nobody, you know what I'm saying? This was super stressful. But while she was drowning in grief, something ugly was brewing online. There was this ongoing feud between Kayn and a woman named Kimaria Wright. It had started over something stupid, a shared video making fun of a family assault. Just petty internet nonsense that somehow kept growing and growing. And here's where social media shows its darkest side. What might have been a brief disagreement in person became an endless battle online, no cooling off period, no walking away. Just constant access to each other's posts, constant opportunities to throw more fuel on the fire. Social media lets us say things we'd never say face to face. It lets conflicts fester and grow without the natural boundaries that real-life interactions have. You can't walk away from your phone the way you can walk away from someone on the street. The fight follows you everywhere. It lives in your pocket. And then, while Kayn was planning her 5-year-old's funeral, rumors started spreading that Wright was mocking Kyler's death. People said she was making jokes about it, that she vandalized the memorial, that she was talking trash about Kayn's parenting while her son was barely cold. Now, were these rumors completely true? We don't know for certain. Some things were never fully proven. But that's the thing about social media. Truth becomes less important than perception. Screenshots can be faked, context gets stripped away, rumors spread faster than facts. And once you believe something, once that seed is planted in your mind, it grows. Kayn believed them. And when you're already shattered by grief, when your heart is bleeding and your mind is barely holding on, belief is enough. Belief becomes fuel. Online drama becomes real-world rage. On May 12th, 8 days after Kyler passed, his funeral was held at that same church where Kayn had been baptized as a little girl. Pentecostal Cathedral Church of God in Christ opened its doors, and the community showed up in force. People donated through GoFundMe, raising about $7,000 to help cover expenses. The pastor spoke about releasing hatred, about leaning on faith, about finding a way to survive the kind of pain that feels unsurvivable. Everyone left that church hoping Kayn would find peace somehow. But grief doesn't follow a timeline, and anger doesn't disappear just because you've said your goodbyes. May 17, 2022, 5 days after burying her baby boy. Kayn saw something on social media that made her blood boil. Kimaria Wright was at Line and Grill, a restaurant downtown on South Michigan Street. And Kayn made a choice. She went there. Security cameras caught what happened next. Kaylin walked into that restaurant, found Wright, and punched her in the jaw. Just like that, the place erupted. People jumping in, trying to break it up, chaos everywhere. Eventually, they pulled everyone apart. Kaylin turned and ran toward the exit. And this is where everything went from bad to unthinkable. According to prosecutors, Wright followed Kaylin outside. She pulled out a handgun, one she was legally allowed to carry, and as Kaylin was running away, Wright fired. Multiple shots. Kaylin was hit. She collapsed right there on the pavement outside the restaurant. Police officers who were nearby heard 4 or 5 gunshots and rushed over immediately. They got Kaylin to Memorial Hospital as fast as they could. But it was too late. She died shortly after arriving. Just like that, a mother who'd buried her son 5 days earlier was gone too. Wright didn't run. She walked back inside the restaurant and was arrested in the early morning hours of May 18th without any drama. This became South Bend's 9th homicide of 2022, and the 4th in just 6 days. The city was reeling, trying to make sense of the violence. On May 19th, Wright was officially charged with murder and voluntary manslaughter. Prosecutors later added a gun enhancement that could have added 5 to 20 years to whatever sentence she got. But here's the key detail. The legal documents made it crystal clear. This wasn't self-defense. Kaylin was running away. She wasn't a threat. You can't claim you feared for your life when you're chasing someone down and shooting them in the back. The trial got delayed over and over, but finally started in November 2023. On November 3rd, the jury came back with their verdict. Guilty of voluntary manslaughter. The murder charge was dropped. The gun enhancement wasn't applied. They acknowledged that Wright had been provoked, but they rejected the self-defense argument completely. On December 4th, 2023, Wright was sentenced to 10 years in prison. 10 years for taking a mother away from her surviving son, for ending a life that was already shattered by unimaginable loss.
27-year-old Kamari Wright was just found guilty of voluntary manslaughter in the shooting death of 32-year-old Kaylin Davidson. So here's her photo. This shooting happened last year. Prosecutors originally charged her with murder and voluntary manslaughter. According to court paperwork, prosecutors say Wright killed Davidson after they got into a fight at Linden Grill. They say Davidson was running away when Wright shot her.
This story has 2 major lessons we need to talk about. First, gun safety. A 5-year-old is dead because adults were careless. There's no sugarcoating that. If you own a gun, you have a responsibility. Lock it up. Keep it unloaded. Keep the ammunition separate. Make it impossible for children to access. Every single time. No exceptions. Because the alternative is a child's funeral and a lifetime of guilt. Second, social media. What started as online drama ended with 2 people dead. Think about that. Petty arguments that should have been scrolled past, blocked, forgotten. Instead, they escalated into real-world violence. We hide behind screens and say things we'd never say in person. We let conflicts grow instead of letting them go. We turn rumors into facts and let anger override common sense. And sometimes, like in this case, all that digital hatred spills into the real world with devastating consequences. I'm not here to judge a grieving mother for confronting someone she believed disrespected her dead child. That moment of anger, that choice to walk into that restaurant, it shouldn't have been a death sentence. But following someone outside and shooting them as they run away, that was a choice too. A deliberate, fatal choice. Now 2 people are gone. A family has lost a daughter, a sister, a mother. Children are growing up without the parent who loved them most. And it all traces back to 2 failures: adults who didn't secure a gun, and people who couldn't let an online fight stay online. What do you think about this case? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more stories like this, check out the videos on your screen. Thanks for watching.